My belief that Israel, Russia, and China cooperated on the Wuhan lab virus. Israel, with its Russian biological warfare specialists who were flooded into the country from the Soviet era, working closely with China, Fauci and Gates, they're just the part of that political Zionist network, the banking cartel network, the subversive banker communist network. That's what they are, centralized command and control. They cooperated on that virus, and there's that very interesting study out that has not been disputed. Dr. Kevin McCann has told me about it. It's pretty defining about who is susceptible to that virus and who is not. So I think there's a big belly of evidence, but that's something that really can't be discussed in any detail on YouTube. COVID is freaking real, people. It's a man-made virus. It's highly infectious, but it doesn't have the same killing that it does. It's a very strange virus. It has major inflammatory effects and central nervous system effects. It's not a usual flu, all right, but it mainly affects old people, already half dead. But it's real, and that's why people I've spoken to who work in the industry said, it's real, Brendon, but it's weird. But they were exaggerating hand over fist. I have friends in ICU who are calling their friends in ICU, when the chief medical officer of Sir Charles Gardner Hospital, my first hospital, I worked on G74, which was urology, and we also did transurethral resection of prostates, and we also did the workup for liver transplants. It was my first ward for 6 months, and Delilah Guy, I still remember her. She was a great nurse manager, Delilah Guy. And so I got some strong memories. That hospital's huge, it's 1,700 beds, big teaching hospital in Perth, Western Australia. The CMO, the Chief Medical Officer, is in the West Australian newspaper owned by the Jesuit Mason, Kerry Stokes, who's best friends with Netanyahu, and pictures of him in my UN document below. You'll see him sitting with Henry Kissinger. Kerry Stokes sitting there saying we're overrun, this is mid-2020, oh my God, it's a catastrophe, and I'm calling people and they're saying we're empty. 4 people in the ICU, no elective surgery, everyone's told to stay out, and everyone's locked up in their houses. So I know firsthand the level of lies that were going around. Why? It could be bullshit, theatre in itself, but they're telling the managerial class we're going to war with China, and China released that biological weapon, which they did with the cooperation of Israel, Russia, and of course Davos, man, to finally bring down the United States, force it back into itself, eject it out of Eurasia, combining with Israel. This is all the pan-Eurasian superstate.